Mm. This is second slide. First slide we have studied the roots, vegetative parts of the roots, types of roots, root modification and underground modification, etc. Now, the root only help for the storage of food material, but also help for the support. Modification of root for support. You give the example for modification of root for support is epiphytic and aerial roots. Epiphytic plants that grow on other plants for structural support. Epi means above, phytic means plants above the plant. Plant upon the plant or plant over the plant that grow on other plants for structural support. Their aerial roots meant to stay above ground where gather nutrients from the air and from surface debris accumulating around it. That means epiphytic plants are not directly connected to that plant for any absorption of food material. That the epiphytic plant does not grow on the host of that plant. It's not a parasitic. Only to take support. That is they grow on other plants for structural support. Their aerial roots meant to stay above ground where gather nutrients from the air and from surface debris accumulating around it. Most epiphytic plants are found in moist tropical areas. This atmosphere is cold and moist, that is especially in the tropical areas, where ability to grow above the ground. They grow above the ground level, provides access to sunlight in dense shaded forests and exploits the nutrients available from leaf and other organic debris. That is to say, epiphytic plants are plants that grow on other plants for structural support. Their aerial roots meant to stay above ground where gather nutrients from the air and from surface debris accumulating around it. Most epiphytics are found in moist tropical areas where ability to grow above the ground level provides access to sunlight in dense shaded forests and exploits the nutrients available from leaf and other organic debris. Example, you give orchids and other members of the pineapple family, and mosses, ferns and liverworts are also common epiphytes. So you can see the mosses and liverworts comes under the bryophytic plants. Ferns are pteridophytes, and the ficus or other pineapple family members are belongs to angiosperms. That is, these are called as epiphytic plants for support or modification of root for support. These plants produces roots. The roots are called as clinging roots. They encircle around the stem and take the support to that stem. Second one is the aerial roots. Aerial roots are roots above the ground. That is, you know that these are also called as adventitious roots. Aerial roots are not grown any base of the stem or not arises from the any radical part of the stem, radical part of the root. Any part of the plant, the roots grow other than the radical. Such type of roots are called as adventitious roots. They are found in diverse plant species. You have seen commonly plants available, that is pandanus, ficus and mangrove family. Well-known aerial roots are in ficus family, commonly seen. The roots are, you can see the diagram. You can see diagram, the branches of the stem is, the plant is there, a tree is there, where the number of branches shows arises from the branches of the stem and shows downwards toward the soil and attached to soil and takes the support or gives the support to the plant. That is why the name is called as aerial root. You have seen the Aladamara, it is called as Aladamara, or Hatti Hennu, it is in Kannada called as Hatti Hennu, ficus members, Hatti Hennu, where also you can observe the such type of advantageous roots, positively geotropic, negatively phototropic, arises from the branch of the stem and downwardly hanging. These roots, advantageous roots for support of the plant. Next one, nematophores are nematophytic plants. Nematophores these are called as respiratory roots. Nematophores are aerial, negatively geotropic, porous modified taproot that are helpful in exchange of gases are called respiratory roots. See, the roots are present underground part of the plant body and they come out of the ground level. They shows negatively geotropic, positively phototropic, and where you can see this picture or diagram, the roots are above the ground level. They come out and presence of small pores on the root parts. They are called as a pore. Pores are also called as lenticels or nematodes. They are called as lenticel or nematode or a pore-like structure. Why these nematophores are special for these? Because where in the area, atmospheric conditions where oxygen concentration is very less in the soil or in the water, poor aeration, especially in the roots are common in mangroves that grow in waterlogged soils. Where waterlogged soils within poor aeration, oxygen is not available to the plant. That's why for the respiration purpose, these plants undergo modification. That is, you know that roots are positively geotropic, but here roots are negatively geotropic. For the purpose of aeration, the plant roots come above the ground level, that is to the phototropic reason, and where the roots having a minute pores, they are called as lenticels or nematodes. What is the function, what are the speciality of these roots? They help in exchange of gases. Generally, you can see such type of roots in aquatic plants and plants which grow on marshy area, marshy soil. These are called as nematophores. Nematophores are also called as respiratory roots. Next one is for the support purpose, one more type of roots are called as prop roots. Prop roots are nothing but they are modified adventitious roots arising from horizontal branches of the plant body that provide extra support are called prop roots. Because prop roots are modified adventitious roots arising from horizontal branches of the stem that provide extra support are called prop roots. In some trees, a number of roots are produced from the branches because these are not roots. These are not fibrous roots. These are adventitious roots. That's why some of the trees, a number of roots are produced from the branches. These roots hang in the air, grow downwards, penetrate into the soil and act as supporting pillars. Supporting pillars you also seen in the ficus or banyan trees. These are called as prop roots. Another one root is a stilt roots. Stilt root or stilt roots or brace roots. These also aerial roots. They are present or they are produced in the plant above the ground. Here these are stilt roots are modified aerial adventitious roots developing from lower part of the stem for mechanical support. Mechanical support are called stilt roots. Stilt roots. Stilt roots are modified aerial adventitious roots developing from lower part of the stem for mechanical support are called stilt roots and fixed firmly to the soil. Growing near, especially they grow near the banks of the river and ponds because such supporting roots are stilt roots found in plants growing near banks of river, ponds and etc. You give the example, any members of GMAs, Mekkejola, red mangroves, commonly called as Rhizophora mangal, sorghum, jobar, jola, shakaram, sugar cane. They are generally present in plants growing in loose sandy soils. These plants generally grow in the loose sandy soils as the normal roots are not properly fixed. These modified roots enter obliquely into soil and gives support to the plant or supporting organs of the plant. You can see the diagram also. These are called as stilt roots. Next one, floating roots. Floating roots are present in the aquatic plants like Jassia. They store air, become inflated and spongy-like appearance. Project above the level of water, make the plant light and function as floats. See, floating plants or floating roots are called as floating aquatic plants. Example, Jassia. They store air in the spongy type of roots. That's why the spongy roots appears like inflated portion, inflated in appearance. They are present above the ground level, above the water level. Make the plant light and function as floats. That's why the name is called as floating roots or floating aquatic plants. Floating plants are not attached to the bottom. Most have roots that hang in the water from the floating green portion. Example, you see the Jassia, or that is the water lily. Next one is the Hostorium or Hostoria. Hostorium is a root-like structure that grow into or around another structure to absorb water or nutrients. You remember, these hostorial roots, they grow into the host of another plant. They get the water and nutrients from that plant. One type of they are a parasitic plant because it is a specialized modified root of parasitic plants that penetrates into a host plant and functions to acquire necessary nutrients from the host plants. They attach themselves. You can see in the Cuscuta or in the worm. See, these are called as hostorial roots. See, Hostorium is a bulb-like structure. A bulb-like structure or hostorium is a bulb-like structure in root that grows into or around another structure to absorb water and mineral salts. It is a specialized modified root for parasitic plants that penetrate into a host plant and functions to acquire necessary nutrients from the host plant. That means this is a parasitic plant. Remember, this is parasitic plant. You compare to this epiphytic plant. Epiphytic plants are also taking support from that plant, but it is not a parasite. It does not enter into the host of the plant. It only grown upon the plant to absorb the water and the mineral salts from the atmosphere. But these plants, astorium, a bulb-like structure, grow in the roots, and these bulb-like structure pierce or enters into the stem of the plant as a parasite, and the penetration to the host plant and functions to acquire necessary nutrients from the host plants. They attach themselves. Example, you see the Cascota plants and worm plants. You can see the diagram also there. You can see these diagrams, how this knob-like structure. This is the astorium, and this astorium or a bulb-like structure, it is pierced or enters into the host of the plant, where it can get the water and nutrients. That's why the astorium plants are a parasitic plant. Parasitic plant. Thank you.